All right, hello everybody. Today's Friday. It is Friday. Weekend is just about here. It's the 21st of February, and we're gonna give a quick little update on potential for some more East Coast storminess next week, and got some weather to talk about here in Florida too. Could be some thunderstorms and downpours on Monday. Um, you talk about a big East Coast storm that just happened a couple days ago. Boy, it was a record breaker for southeastern Virginia, northern North Carolina, Delmarva. Parts of that area picked up 10, 11, 12 inches of snow. A lot of it fell in one single calendar day, which ended up being a record. I forget what it was. I think it was Norfolk International set a record for the most snow, or maybe it ranked top five or something like that. Single day snowstorm. They don't get a lot of snow down there, and it was a big one. Okay, moving forward. So this will be quick. What's happening here is we had, if you're a snow lover, all right, this past week we had a perfect pattern. We really did. Everything was lined up well. It was just a situation where all the pieces to the puzzle had to come together, and they did for North Carolina, Virginia, and Delmarva. They didn't for New York City. They didn't for Boston. They didn't for Philadelphia. So moving forward, next week, we still have some pieces to the puzzle that are good, but others that are bad. And so I'm going to take a few minutes here and explain what has to happen in order to get one of these storms to produce snow in the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. So let me share my screen. Make sure that I do this right. Bear with me 1 second, and we'll get into it. So first, we'll start you out here with the MJO. Remember, the big storm signal this time of year is 8, but phases 1 and 2 aren't bad. Even 1 isn't bad. 2, you're starting to pull out of it a little bit. 8 and 1 are the big phases. Eight's where you want to be if you want an East Coast snowstorm, and you can see we had it there on the 18th, and then look at the way it just plunged by the time we got to what was it, the 19th and the 20th, and that was that was the fear. The signal was really vanishing quickly, and that's ultimately my belief is that's what kept that storm down to the south, as opposed to, because the block and everything broke down, as opposed to lifting it up the coast. Well, moving forward, it looks like it will, because you notice it's in the circle, it's in the null phase, which means there's no signal at all right now. But notice it will start to pull out into 8 again, and then it goes quickly into 1. 1 is good phase for snow lovers. Let me go to this real quick. 1 is fine, but then you've got these problems here. Okay, so this is what's called the PNA. In short, if you want an East Coast snowstorm, okay, you want this positive. Anything above 0. The higher it is above 0, the stronger, or the stronger, I guess would be the way to say it. Stronger the ridges out west, and that helps to put the trough in the east. So this is positive. This is good. This is fine. If we go over to this one right here, all right, this is how you measure the trough that's in the east. This is the NAO. You want this to be negative. It's not negative. Okay, and then if we look at the amount of cold air that's going to be dumped into the lower 48, you go over to the Arctic oscillation, you want this to be negative. It's not negative. Okay, so out of the 3, you do have the PNA. You're going to get a little bit of ridging on the west coast, which is good, but you're not getting any troughing, and you're getting very limited cold air on the East Coast. Remember, we're talking about next week. I know, believe me, all my friends up there in the Philadelphia area, I know it is frigid right now, but you're going to warm up. You're going to start warming up here, especially the first part of next week, east of the Continental Divide. So you got the MJO, which is good for an East Coast snow. You got the PNA, which is okay, but you don't have the AO and you don't have the NAO. So you're going to have very limited Arctic air, which means everything is going to have to come together just right. You're literally going to have to thread the needle on this if you want an East Coast snowstorm. Let's take a look at this right here. A little more familiar with this now. how this works. Again, remember, we do the forecast cone. We look at the upper levels first. We identify the pattern. Then we work our way down to the surface. It's kind of what we did with the last storm, and it worked out really well. Blues is where the troughing is, and the greens. Okay, and then when you see the orange and the reds, that's where you're getting the ridging. Okay, and a lot of times ridging is warm, troughing is cold. Okay, so that's, and I just read that didn't the baroclinic zone play a part too? Peanut absolutely did. That, and that's part of the reason why the storm track has been so far to the south this winter, is because that baroclinic zone is so far to the south, because it's been so cold and the ocean temperatures are so cold. I can circle back on that in a minute. Let me set this in motion here. Hey, Paigey, do you want to say hi to everybody real quick before I get into this? Say hi. What do you mean, no? Say hi to everybody. Okay, fine. You don't have to. It's okay. It's a sunny day. We're all right. All right, hold on. Let me go back here. And she said no. All right, so we're going to set this in motion. We get into next. Here's the weekend. All right, this really cold air in the east is pulling out. See all the oranges taking over the lower 48? Okay, you're starting to get a more zonal west to east Pacific flow. So you're pretty much taking all that Arctic air and you're bottling up into Canada. Okay, look at the top of the screen. You see that green circle there? That is your dreaded polar vortex. Now, several times this winter, it has either split or it is stretched, and it has brought the mid-Atlantic, the Northeast, the Great Lakes, and the High Plains an absolutely brutal winter, one that nobody projected. There wasn't a single winter outlook that called for what we've been seeing up to this point, not even close. Which, that's a that's a topic of conversation for another day, because that's just, that in itself is proof that all this technology and still old man winter and Mother Nature, they're going to do what they want to do sometimes, right? But anyway, so there's the polar vortex. It still has some juice left. It's going to hang out across the northern Canada over the next few days. The middle of next week, got a little trough here in the east. I don't think that's going to be much of anything here. And then the troughs are going to get deeper. See this right here? See all the blue is moving to the east here? This is where things are going to get really, really interesting. So again, if you look to the left, the west, you see the orange. Okay, that was the ridge. Okay, that was that positive PNA. Okay, now if that PNA was negative, you would see all blue here, and the lines are going the other way. Instead of up, they're going down. So that's what that PNA means. Okay, the farther north you extend it, that gets into the EPO, and we're not going to get into all that, because right now the two important things are the NAO and the PNA. So you got your PNA. That's good. Ridge in the west, trough in the east. This pattern looks great. The problem is, again, you're going to have very limited cold air, because the other two, the NAO and the Arctic Oscillation, are both in the positive territory now. So you're sort of getting a little thaw here. You're going to get a perfect looking trough, but you're going to get a thaw. So there's not going to be a lot of cold air to go with it. But so this is the first thread. Regardless, you can still get snow in a pattern like this. It's a great looking pattern, even with limited cold air. You got to thread the needle. Okay, the low has got to come up just right. Things have to face just right. I'm going to show you the modeling, deterministic, and ensemble here in a second. That's the only way. With the pattern that we just had, the storm that just clobbered the Virginias, you can get a snowstorm on accident. That's how good that pattern was. You saw what happened to the south across the mid-Atlantic. They got clobbered. They got buried. We just couldn't lift it north. But that was a situation where, let's say you had 5 pieces to the puzzle. You could have had one, and you're still getting snow somewhere on the East Coast. This is totally different. This is a different animal altogether. Let's say you have those same 5 pieces. You're going to need all 5 of them to come together just right to get a storm here. But it can happen. Again, this looks good. All right, here comes the trough. It's actually got an inverted look here a little bit, which is a good sign. Somewhere around the 28th, 29th, 29th, like there's 29. Well, I guess there could be. It's not a leap year, though, I don't think. So 27th, 28th, and the 1st. Somewhere in that ballpark is where you got a pretty good storm signal. And then see how the trough kind of holds back here in the east. We're going to have to watch out for some mischief as we get into like the 4th or the 5th here, see if something's left over. And then notice this thing coming across the country. See it left to right? That's the other thing that we're going to have to watch. That's another possible threat here as we get into the 6th and the 7th. And then I'll just run this through. And then you see the pattern that develops here by the end of the first week of March. That is cooler, definitely. I guess we'll wait and see how cold. Yes. What's the matter, Paigey? What's the matter? Fix the commercial. Okay, we're watching Peppa Pig.
And you have to sit down here.
And we have to do what? So it's Peppa Pig Day. Uh-oh, what's going on with the volume, Paigey? There it is. Okay, you watch your Peppa Pig. Back to the weather. Okay, so that's the upper level. Those are the two time frames we're going to have to watch, somewhere between the 28th and the 1st, and then a few days down the road after that. Forecast modeling. This right here for you. Doesn't have too much. All right, these are the next few days. Weekend looks good. South Florida, you could get some storms. I'll get into that in a moment. And here's the 25th. See, there's the first storm. See it? Look to the far right. See how far off the coast it is? Again, you got to. The thing's got to be a little bit closer, and there is still some wiggle room here. There's time for that to happen. But here's the big low. This got a lot of energy with it. 26th, 27th. It's too far to the north for one. The secondary low, it's trying to develop, but it's developing too late in the game. Okay, that's how the model sees it now. The ensemble is a little different, but that's how the model sees it now. You need, in order to get that thing going, you need a handoff. See the first low here, just north of Lake Ontario, towards the top of the screen? You need that to start transferring its energy to one near Virginia, North Carolina, like right now. And then we're actually a little bit sooner. And then you would need that low to get stronger. It's what we call a Miller B. Right now, the deterministic model is not showing that. And then here comes the other piece of energy here. This could be a little bit of snow behind it. It's a clipper system. If that deepens, again, that's something we'll have to watch. And then we fast forward. Here's the other big one. Remember I showed you that little bowling ball rolling across the country? This is it right here. So you've got limited cold air. Okay, you're going to need a perfect track with this. And that would be something a little bit farther to the south. All right, again, it's all possible. It's just right now we're not seeing it. Ensemble. Remember, what you just saw is the deterministic. Okay, that is a model that's run 4 times a day, but it's run once 4 times a day. What you're going to look at now is the ensemble. The ensemble is run 50 different times, 4 times a day. You take the blend of it, and again, the reason you do that is to eliminate the possible errors that the deterministic model may make. So here's a look at it. Okay, let's go over. Now, watch the L's. What this is showing is placement of low pressure. Okay, here's Tuesday. This is the first one. Remember, the time frame here is 27th, 28th, and the 1st. So here we go. All right, look towards the Great Lakes. See the low? Okay, it's got different positions for it. Doesn't know where it wants to take it. 28th, now it's boom. See all the lows out here across the Carolinas? It doesn't know where to put it. But I do want to tell you, the ensemble is interesting because all of these positions here in South Carolina and North Carolina are in perfect position for a snowstorm on I-95. Again, you got limited cold air, so you got to thread the needle with this. Some of the ensemble here, let me back up. Some of the ensemble data is showing that you could get it. It's not a high percentage, but it's not a zero either. And then that comes and goes. Okay, here comes one behind it. Let's show you that little bowling ball rumbling through first week of March. There it is right there. Yeah, see, we're too far out. It doesn't know where it wants to take that. Okay, and then it really strengthens it off the coast. Ensemble data and projected snowfall totals. There's 50 of them here. This is the first 25. I'll show you the next 25 in a minute. And you got a couple. Again, the percentages are low, but you've got a couple here that say, hey, you know what, old man winter's not gone yet. Winter's not dead yet. We're going to have to watch things. So, for example, if you count the squares here, I see them all, the top 5 here at the top, and then upper left-hand corner, right? Start down, go downwards. You see that one, I guess it's the third one down? That would be a very good snow for the I-95 corridor. That'd be 6 to 10. And then lower right from that, that's another very good possible hit. There's a couple others, like number 17. It's got a good hit in South Jersey. Yeah, honey, you want a cracker? Okay, he'll get you a cracker. Here's the next 25. Okay. So, hold on, let me fix this for you so you guys can see. And there it is. Okay, so with these, with this 25, we have Take number 42. Look at 42, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 over, second down. That's a huge storm. That's a 10 to 15-inch snowstorm. Okay, and then if you go two down from there, that's a decent hit. If you go one down from there and one over to the left, there's accumulating snow. So some of these ensemble runs are saying, hey, again, we're not finished yet. That there could be some mischief here over the next couple of weeks. A low percentage, but a percentage. It's not over just yet. March can be a very funny month. If you remember, was it 2018? What was the year where March produced like four nor'easters in the Mid Atlantic within the span of like 10 days or 2 weeks? It was something crazy. I remember March. We hadn't really had much of anything. And then here comes March when everybody's getting ready for spring and it's snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm. I want to say that was 2018. I can't remember. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but the point of me bringing that up is March can be a funny month. So, all right, let's to Florida here. We finally got something to talk about down here. Got a sunny day today. You're going to get sun and clouds again tomorrow, and Sunday looks good. With a stalled frontal boundary, though, you're going to get this little disturbance riding along it, and the Everglades going to get drenched. West Palm Beach going to get drenched. Big downpours and thunderstorms all the way up into Melbourne. Treasure Coast is included here. The Monday morning commute. And I was told a lot of the kids have off from school on Monday. What is Monday? Is Monday President's? Monday's not President's Day, right? That was last week. So I don't know what the case is for the kids having off on Monday. But anyway, so the commute might be a little bit lighter to begin with. But with that being said, you're looking at some pretty good rains here. And here's a look at the expected rainfall totals. Look what's going on to the south of West Palm Beach. You get into, looks like just north of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton. And those areas, 4 or 5, maybe 3, 4, 5 inches. And we've got at least 2, 2.5, maybe 3 up into the West Palm Beach area. Has the potential to be a pretty big rainy mess Monday morning. Okay, that's what's going on here. I'll do some more updates over the weekend. Again, you're going to get some quiet time now in the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. You're also going to get a warm-up in the short term. But again, keep your eyes on the end of this month and the first week of March. Even with the warmer air or the somewhat warmer air, you still got storm threats. You still got signals here. So you have to thread the needle just right, but there's still some stuff out there. Let me quickly read a couple posts here. Okay, so Peanut was saying, didn't the baroclinic zone help to shift this storm to the south? It absolutely did. The baroclinic zone is an area where you get the greatest temperature contrast. Okay, Gulf Stream is, I forget how many 100 miles off the coast of Atlantic City, but the water temperatures there are in the 70s, yet the water temperatures right off the coast of, let's say, the Jersey Shore, the Delaware beaches, Delmarva, are in the 30s and 40s. Okay, so what we've done is we've taken that area of storm development, and this winter, because it's been so cold, we've pushed it so far off the coast that all the storms that develop are following that area, which is usually a lot closer to the coast than it is this year. And that's a big reason why you're missing out on it. Let me see. You know what? Real quick, let me just see if I might be able to. I had an illustration on this. I think you guys already saw it on my Facebook page, but let me just see if I can bring this up real quick, just so you know what I'm talking about in case you have not seen this post yet. You can go on my Facebook page too, by the way, and it's there. Let's see. Almost there. Nope. Where did it go? There it is. Yep, I got it. Okay. Let's try this. See if you guys can see that. Okay, see that? Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. You see the Gulf Stream, that little red line there? Well, no, the red line is the baroclinic zone. As far as the water temperatures are concerned, you see the orange and red shading? That's where the temperatures are in the 70s. That red line is usually about 100 to 125 miles closer to the coast. Easy. Okay, but because it's been so cold, the waters have cooled off so quickly and so dramatically that now, instead of the baroclinic zone being maybe 100 to 200 miles off the coast, now it's more than 300 miles off the coast of the Jersey Shore. And that's where your storms have been going, following that red line. And you can thank the cold for that. If it wasn't as brutally cold of a winter up there, that storm track would be a lot closer, and you wouldn't be missing all of these to the south like that. That's your big reason why you're missing these. So now, keep in mind, if we continue to see these little disturbances push across the country through March, that line is going to shift a little bit closer to the coast because the water's going to start getting warmer, and then you might be in business. I know we're running out of time. Usually by now, it's what is it, 21st of February? Usually you got maybe 2 weeks and that's it. So we'll see. Okay, you guys take care. Have a great weekend, and I'll have another update at some point over the next day or two. Bye bye.